Salute, everyone, and welcome to the CIW Summer Series Programming Update. I am the Sentinel, Sean McCarty, ready to break it all down here for you. You're probably wondering why I didn't call myself the Colonist. There's a little bit of backstory to that if you follow TAW Gaming, but essentially, because we've built such a successful program here on CIW, I don't need to be colonizing anything anymore. Now it's about protecting what we've established. So therefore, gone are the days of the Colonial Champion, and in come the days of the Sentinel, the first line of defense against usurpers like people like the Joker or others who threaten to sacrifice the integrity of Colonial Impact Wrestling. But we've got ourselves a great summer ahead. And we're not going to overload you like we did last year, where we had every Saturday we had a match. We're not going to be doing it quite like that this year. We're changing it up, doing things a little bit differently, but I have it all here on these notes to present to you. And these matches have been made courtesy of Abizzle, because Michael Corleone, I regret to inform all of you, give me a second. I don't want to pour this out, but I'm going to have to take a sip in memory. Well, he's not dead. So maybe I didn't need to take that big of a sip, but let me put it this way. Mike now is still in the hospital. It's been 3 weeks. And the biggest reason that he is in the hospital is, unfortunately, Abizzle attacked him from behind in the parking lot at the end of Massacre, an assault that I 100% do not condone, and I will admit I have been going to the hospital relatively frequently for Michael Corleone to check up on him, and he's not doing well. You know, he's an old man. He had a lot of complications with the surgery. His eyes, from the grated glass of that limousine, there's a good chance he might lose one. He is going to have sight still. He's still able to see, but his leg is in fact broken. It's really not a good time. And you know, all the thoughts and prayers in the world go to Mike in this time, because it is an absolutely difficult time to be going through, especially after what happened last year and now this year from someone that you trust. But the fact of the matter is, as the second majority shareholder, we established this before, Abizzle now is officially running things. And there have been a series of budget cuts, which unfortunately I have to update you on that too, because AB has been making a ton of budget cuts in a lot of departments, including merchandising. We have to hold off on the shirts for just a little bit. We're hoping to have them by the end of the summer series in August, if not early September. So stay tuned for that, especially the winner of the Rebels and Redcoats tournament, which I will be announcing at a later date, probably towards the end of June, as I count all the points and get all of that squared away. We've had a very tumultuous May as this power shift / struggle has been playing itself out. But in any case, we've got some action lined up for you. And the way we're going to do it this year is we have 3, and I mean 3, one-day cards. 1 in June, 1 in July, and 1 in August, leading up to our September show, our major event in September, Autumn Asylum, which is going to be brought to you in a 3-day show, I believe, if I recall correctly. Yes, it is. No, I'm sorry. It's a 2-day show. But we've got 3 one-day shows leading up to that, 1 in each month following, and we have a couple of matches sandwiched in between, and I am here to bring to you everything that's coming up. The first match that we're going to get is actually tomorrow night, and you may have seen it pop up on your feeds if you are just randomly scrolling through YouTube and then clicking on shorts and just scrolling through shorts for hours, as one doth tend to do. This time around, we're going to have a tag team match tomorrow night. The Sons of Lavos going up against the other Rangers. We'll see how that goes. Apparently, Lizzie is going to be in the corner of the Rangers. Will that play a factor? We had a white-hot Rebels and Redcoats tag team tournament, and now all the tag teams are looking to find another way towards the CIW Tag Team Championships that are being held hostage by DC after that bait and switch we saw them do at Massacre, where Aquaman subbed in for the Penguin. But they are running for a year and 3 to 4 months now, a year and a quarter they've held those belts. And will they be able to defend them? And we'll find out about the number 1 contenders in just a minute. But then comes June. And our June show is entitled No Man's Land. No Man's Land for June. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. You'll be able to figure it out. The first matchup, or the matchups that we have signed right now, we have the most recent signing or I should say re-signing to CIW. The Ultimate Beast Brandon Ulrich is going one-on-one against Johnny Cage. Can Johnny Cage beat the Beast Slayer in the Ultimate Beast? And then here's the real question. Can the Ultimate Beast do to Johnny Cage what he did to Ken Masters? We saw that incredible Beast Slayer maneuver. Will it make a difference in that matchup? We will find out on June the 8th, 1 week from tomorrow, when No Man's Land airs. We also have the Exceeds title on the line. And folks, I'm just reiterating who's booking this situation. Tis not I. Tis my broadcast partner, one of my broadcast partners. It is Sephiroth defending his Exceeds championship against Abizzle. That's right. He has put himself in a title match. I don't approve of it. I don't like it. I always hated when people did this on their shows, but he is the one calling the shots because he has the money to do it. And especially considering he delayed the shirts in order to, I'm not really even sure. He's making a lot of erratic calls of late, but that seems to be what his deal is now that he is quote unquote The Rock. But that means he's going to have to leave for a excruciatingly long amount of time until it's convenient for him again. But that's not really the way Abizzle's running things, at least so far. And you'll see why in a minute. But then the main event. And this is something, I will give AB credit. This is something that he and I conceived together. This is a brand new concept. As many of you have seen, the Greasy Green Gigolos and the Shades of Black have been fighting all year long. And it has been a brutal back and forth. It started originally with a match that was supposed to take place between Reptile and Neo that never took place on a pre-show because they just all kept fighting each other in the back. And so we never even got a match. And it has just been this color war, a brutal color war between the Shades of Black and the Greasy Green Gigolos, including the recruitment of the Riddler and Ganondorf on the Gigolo side, as well as Pepsi Man on the Shades of Black side. And it has been a war of attrition. And so these two teams are going to settle it for good at the main event of this pay-per-view in a fatal attrition match. Basically, this is a 4-on-4 elimination Hell in a Cell match. It's the closest thing we could get to War Games, but it's going to be better than that. So basically the rules are there's 2 members of each team allowed in the cage at any given time. 2 teams start. Whoever gets pinned, there's a 30-second grace period. The next person enters the cage from the next, whichever team got eliminated, they get to send in the next participant. So let's say theoretically that the Shades of Black lose their first member. Then there's 30 seconds of waiting, and then the Shades of Black send in their next guy. And then when the Greasy Green Gigolos lose a member, then they send in their next guy after a 30-second grace period until all 4 members of one team are completely eliminated. There is a 30-second grace period after each fall. So let's say that there's the last 4 and one of the Gigolos or one of the Shades of Black gets pinned. We will still have that 30-second grace period while we set up for the 2-on-1. So just be aware that every fall has a grace period in that matchup, but it is coming to an end, and it is going to be brutal. It is going to be vicious. There are no rules except batter your opponent and pin them anywhere. And considering that there is no love lost between these teams, I guarantee you that that match is going to be one of the most brutal things we've ever seen here in Colonial Impact Wrestling. And then we have in July, we are bringing back Brawlbarbecue number 2. And in this 4-match card, we have a great return match, the rubber match between Lara Croft and Nina Sayers. It is tied 1 apiece. They have faced each other on a couple of pre-shows leading up to this matchup, and now they get to solve which one of these ladies is the better one of the 2. We're going to find that out on the show, as well as Simon Belmont going one-on-one with Nathan Von Schrader after Nathan Von Schrader was a key proponent to Sagat winning his match against Simon Belmont, the Falls Count Anywhere match at Massacre. Simon Belmont wants to exact a little revenge, wants to do it against Nathan Von Schrader. He'll get the chance on July the 20th at the Brawlbarbecue number 2. Then we also, because it's a Brawlbarbecue and barbecues typically have a lot of smoke coming off the grill, we've got Smoke and Dave Chappelle going up against Rain and Souls in hot tag team action. And the main event, world title on the line. Spider-Man is vowed to be a fighting champion, and Abizzle's going to put him up to the test of this, and I must admit to you, I don't like this at all. I don't like this decision at all, the fact that he made this happen. But it's going to happen. It's Symbiote Spider-Man defending his title against Jack Black. And I just think that's completely a nepotism, favoritism move there. That is obvious bias. And that's the kind of obvious bias that we have really tried to deter ourselves from having inserted in. I mean, come on. Abizzle's got an Exceeds title match in June, on June the 8th at No Man's Land. Tune in for that a week from tomorrow. And then July the 20th, Jack Black gets a world title shot. And where's the number 1 contenders match for that? He doesn't care. He clearly doesn't care, but this is Abizzle's rules, so my hands are tied. He would have been here today. Maybe he is The Rock, because he should have been here today. He was supposed to be here today, and he's not here today. So maybe there's more parallels than we think. And then we have a match in the interim of those two shows, which is going to be a Saturday Night Hype match, which the date has yet to be determined between that and the August show. But it will be probably happening on the, you know what? Let me take a look quickly at my calendar, and I will tell you what day it is. Hang on to the edge of your seats, kids. August 3rd, more than likely, is going to be that date. And on August 3rd, which might be SummerSlam, so if August 3rd is SummerSlam, then it will be on that Sunday. And if there's some AEW show going on in August that, if they're still around by then maybe it'll be Friday. But it's either going to be the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of August. Just stay tuned for that. We are going to have Shiva versus the Grim Reaper, with Kratos in Shiva's corner and Satan in the Grim Reaper's corner. That is a godly-sized Haas match, and we saw how badly those four fought until eventually Grim Reaper and Satan spookified their way out of Dodge, for the lack of a better phrase. And these four clearly have unfinished business. We are going to get a blockbuster one-on-one match between Shiva and the Grim Reaper. The only person who has beaten Shiva in the ring is Kratos. So can the Grim Reaper do what nobody thought the Grim Reaper was able to do to Kratos, but did, albeit through nefarious means, but a pin is a pin? What is going to happen in that big match? You will find out. But then we have the Midsummer Showdown on August the 17th. Folks, this matchup, these four matchups are going to be pretty huge, as we have a series of number 1 contenders matches. 2 triple threat matches at the time of recording this. We have the number 1 contender for the Women's Championship, Black Cat versus Yuna versus Sydney, the pink SPD Ranger, who had a very impressive win against Lizzie, and we figured deserves an opportunity. So we're going to have a triple threat match. The winner of that will face Wonder Woman at Autumn Asylum. Then we have the Prince of Persia going one-on-one with Mr. Clean in a matchup that AB has signed, because Mr. Clean is really getting tired of cleaning up all the sand that the Prince of Persia tracks around all the arenas. And we said, you know what? Let's do it like the way they used to. Let's settle it in the ring. You want to go file a complaint? That's how you file a complaint. Go beat Prince of Persia, who is still, I guess, the loan for that sword, since AB is now in full charge. Like, he raised the interest by like 6,000%. It's back to the original amount he loaned him for overnight. And I'm like, that's not right, man. There's got to be some sort of like way to like regulate that loan. But no, I guess it's back to the original amount. He's trying to keep Prince of Persia indebted forever. This poor guy. Then we have the world title, depending on who wins the matchup in July. We have another triple threat match to determine the number 1 contender, who will face the winner of Jack Black and Symbiote Spider-Man from the month previous. Aquaman versus Freddy Krueger versus Sub-Zero, as both of those two still hold something of a claim against Symbiote Spider-Man, because they had their own kind of issues back and forth as it went on. And Aquaman, who has been gaining a series of wins lately, is still trying to capture that singles belt. So we'll see that big triple threat match occur. And then the main event, the number 1 contendership for the CIW Tag Team Championships, because the Greasy Green Gigolos have alerted me that they're not trying to cash in at this time. You know, they said if they're going to do it, they're going to do it in advance, and they said they're not doing it. So they're pretty focused on the Shades of Black. But the main event of Midsummer Showdown on August the 17th, Mario Brothers versus Team Mischief. That's right, folks. Mario and Luigi go up against their counterparts, Wario and Waluigi, with a CIW Tag Team Championship match on the line for Autumn Asylum. It is going to be a blockbuster summer. It's not coming at you all at once. It's going to be a steady drip, though. And that's the thing you can rely on with CIW, is you're getting a steady drip of the most exciting action that you could possibly find in CIW or anywhere in the E-Federation world. We are the tip of the top, the cream of the crop, and we are also getting sued by the Savage Estate. But don't worry about that, because Poffo and we're gone. And unlike Lanny, I cannot suck my own dick. Look it up, folks. If you want to hear the story about that, go look up Jim Cornette and Brian Last's review of Lanny Poffo dying. It's hilarious. However, I do not have those capabilities, and I hope you're able to sleep at night knowing that. And hold on, I just got a text from AB. I'm in charge now. Yes. I mean, he says he's in charge. And if I had the square sunglasses so I could look like Dr. Robotnik to say it, I would. But instead, I'm going to just let you know that we are so excited to bring a summer's worth of Colonial Impact Wrestling to your doorstep. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for Saturday Night Hype at the same time you typically do. 8:58, my friends. The 8:58 Saturday Night Hype, Sons of Lavos versus the SPD Rangers. Tune in. You will not be disappointed. Thank you very much for attending this storyline programming update. And we will see you as the sun gets brighter and the summer times gets throwing down the way that I know and you know and Ric Flair knows at Paisanos. But trust me, you don't want to end up like Ric Flair. Never go full Ric Flair. Trust me, never go full Ric Flair. We'll see you later, folks.